Yay Networks.
Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil, and I can't wait for you to hear all of the Great Girlfriend magic on today's show. So without further ado, grab something great to drink, grab your pen and your paper, and get ready for this week's episode. Enjoy!
Hey, Great Girlfriends. Whew. Y'all, I am recording this podcast live from the beautiful city of Honolulu, Hawaii. My family and I took a step away from the business of LA to get some quality time in by the ocean, and y'all, it has been amazing. Between the island tours, the zip lining, the snorkeling, the walks on the beach, the driving on the coast, pink sunrises, and just basking in the sun, I feel so renewed, like big time renewed. And let me tell you, this was not a super pre-planned vacation, okay? So we went to a dinner on like last Friday night with the kids, and the kids mentioned we should go to Hawaii. And so I started Googling only to see that the flights and the hotels were available. So we booked on Saturday, and literally on Wednesday we left. So I'm saying that for any great girlfriend who likes the mega plan, the one who likes to plan it all and have the whole year mapped out. And if it's not planned 6 months in advance, you can't have a vacation, girlfriend. I'm saying this to encourage you, or for anyone who thinks that you can't afford like an impromptu getaway. That is not true. Sometimes you just got to book it. You got to just book it. And sometimes life is calling for a bit of spontaneity, and you need to answer that call, right? So when should you take a vacation? That big question. When you feel that you need one is my answer. And I used to think it was like, oh, you take a vacation on these breaks, these holidays, these moments. Nah, life sometimes will tell you it's time for a vacation and that you need to reset. And when that happens, you jump into it. So, that's what we did. And it's been so much fun. And I will tell you, take the vacation, because the cost of stress on your body, on your team, on your family, on your life, it's far more expensive than a vacation. Vacation is the place where your mind and body get to regroup, you get to reset, you get to recharge, you get to reflect, right? So maybe it's time to rethink how you feel about that. So, we're going to talk a lot about rethinking today, but I just wanted to throw that out for anyone who was on the fence about taking that much needed time away. If you feel it in your body and in your being, great girlfriend, take that time. It's your time. And let me just also add this little tidbit about time. The time you have right now is the time that you get. So instead of anticipating the future and always preparing for the future, I want to encourage you to be very present and live in the present and acknowledge that the decisions that you make right now are the most empowered choices you could ever make, right? So even down to us going to dinner and having an open conversation with our kids, and I don't know which kid, but smart kid number one, for example, said, why don't we go to Hawaii? And I said, and my husband and I started to Google and do some searching. We've never been to Hawaii, and we made the choice to go because the choices that you make in the moment make space for the things you want to do in the future. And so for us, that was a way of being present in what our family needed in that moment. And it brought us so many more present moments that we've had over the course of the last maybe 5 days. And it's been just good. So I just want to give you that. I want to give that to anybody or any mom who's kind of thinking through, you always got to have it planned and mapped, and it's not always like that. All right. Before we get any deeper into the show, I want to thank this particular review that we got in. Thank you so much, Natalie WILBS, for your recent iTunes review. Here's what she had to say about the show. She called it authentic, real, relatable, fantastic conversation. So happy to have found this show. Natalie, we can't thank you enough for your iTunes review. So shoot us an email at welcome@thegreatgirlfriends.com to receive a special gift from me and our team. And thank you again. And for those of you that have not left your iTunes review, I really, really need you. Like really, really. No, seriously. Please leave your review and subscribe, sharing your love for the show and anything you'd like to hear in the future. I promise you, I'll do a moderate thank you twerk in my kitchen when you do. Because you don't want to be there for that. All right. So today, we're talking about asking for help. Yes, great girlfriends, asking for help. And why? because I get to read through listener emails where so many of you are feeling overwhelmed and undersupported. And it's a scary place to be when you're carrying the weight of your job, your life, your health, your dreams, your family, your community, and anything else that you have on your plate. I know, trust me, I know. Sometimes I topple over from being weighted and I curl up under the blanket, y'all, and I wait on the first responder to come and lift the weights. But they don't ever come, right? I have to get up. And when I do get up, I still feel weighted and I feel exhausted. And eventually I get, pain in my body. I become short with my family and irritated by any and everything because I'm pressured and weighted and burdened by responsibility. And I want to know, just stop where you are. If you're feeling that kind of pain in your body right now, I want to know that. So you just, stop where you are and say it's me. You can say it softly if you need to. And I know I'm not the only one that's been there, or maybe you literally are sitting there right now. Maybe you're dog tired and you're feeling under supported today, right? As you listen, maybe you're combing through the aisles of the grocery store and maybe you're grabbing food for your family and exhausted mentally at the thought of going home to more work. Maybe home is starting to feel more like work and less like home. Ugh, such an icky place. And maybe you've canceled your calendar and checked out of your community and said no to everything because you feel too heavy to go out and have a good time. You might be afraid to walk away from work for fear that it will only pile even higher. I've been there too. Or, great girlfriends, maybe you're counting the cost of starting that new business and it's just too much to bear in your mind. So you stop and you start and you stop and you start and you stop and you start and you stop. And so you've decided to just stop for the final time because you don't trust yourself to commit to the process, right? Pressure, great girlfriends. I'm just speaking of old-fashioned pressure. So I was walking the other day and I realized that by nature, I carry pressure. And I used it as a badge of honor once upon a time. I did. I used to think that the more pressure I had, it meant the more power I would have and the more control of things I would have if I had more pressure. And it meant that I could protect outcomes. Y'all don't judge me because I know y'all be thinking some of the same things. But my new model of life says something so very different. And it wasn't easy to change this model, great girlfriends. I'm not talking easy, I'm talking essential, I'm talking necessary. My new model of life says, shame on you, Sybil, for taking on more and more without letting go and saying no when it's time. My new model of life says, shame on you, Sybil, for subscribing to the notion that strength is reflected in your ability to carry heavy loads, your load and the load of other people, right? And in my new model says, shame on me for tugging and tagging my mind and body with more weight without considering its purpose. Yeah, my new model has set me free, y'all. I'm talking about free.org.com.net.biz.tv. And now I get to advocate for my best interest at all times so that I don't have to feel inadequacy and emptiness when I'm over my capacity. Because that does come up. You do have the feelings of inadequacy and emptiness when you're overloaded. So what about you, great girlfriend? How are you handling pressure? How are you handling pressure? Let me encourage you today. I want you to rethink pressure today. I know, big deal, big deal, big deal, but I do. I want you to rethink pressure. Some of you have considered the weight of pressure as your disqualifier. You've assumed that your pain under pressure means that you're not equipped to handle your call as a visionary or servant leader. You may have decided that because other people seem to be doing it effortlessly on social media, that means that you're not good enough because you're not running through a meadow smiling while your inbox is overloaded, or you're not sipping on mimosas in New York City while your products are being developed and delayed because of supply chain issues, right? So you're sweating real bullets, and social media is making you feel that sweating means you're not prepared for the process. Trust me, great girlfriends. I know exactly where some of you are today, and I read your emails and I get the direct messages, and I know and I hear you, and I want to acknowledge what you might be feeling right now. But I want to encourage you today to rethink the pressure. Don't see it as a disqualifier, okay? Do not see it as a disqualifier. Before we go any further, let's hear from our brand partners. Great girlfriends, I'm feeling pretty young at heart and in my body, but one day I'll be facing the same issues that many Americans over 50 face, which is why I joined the AARP. It's my way of getting ready, not getting old. I'm getting ready. And I'm getting all the membership benefits at very little cost. Here's what's inside: up to 15% off meals at participating restaurants, discounts on thousands of hotels nationwide, driver safety tips, job board and resume advisor, family caregiving support, AARP the magazine delivered to your door with news, interviews, and articles relevant to you, and the largest advocacy group for people 50 plus. Try the benefits for yourself. Go to aarp.org/greatgirlfriends to join for just $12 for your first year with automatic renewal. You'll get a second membership for free, plus AARP the magazine and a free gift. That's aarp.org/greatgirlfriends. Trust me, I know where you are today, but I want you to rethink the pressure. The pressure is not a disqualifier. The pressure is an indicator. I repeat, the pressure is not a disqualifier, great girlfriends. The pressure is an indicator. An indicator, by definition, is a gauge or a meter of a specific kind. It's typically used to communicate a condition or even a need for change. For example, an indicator light, right? We all know what an indicator light does, right? A blinker used to communicate that a car has plans to change lanes. A sneeze in the middle of a garden can communicate an allergic reaction to a certain plant or grass or etc. You get the point, right? You get where I'm going with this. So what can pressure communicate to you? Well, I want to encourage you to see pressure as an indicator that you're not ready to cave or quit, but instead you're ready to receive your next level of help. That's right, you're ready for help, and it's time to call on the reinforcement. It's time to disrupt your construct of strength and expand as a leader. A real leader understands that help is a way to protect the vision and to ensure its success. A real leader sees help, assistance as a way to go further and reduce failure because many hands make light work, great girlfriends. So asking for help makes us uncomfortable because so many of us run from vulnerability. Ugh. And we feel like when we're exposing our rough patches, it leaves us open for judgment. And I'm going to tell you, it does leave you open for judgment. But, great girlfriends, exposing our rough patches also leaves us open for empowerment. That part. So how do you ask for help? Because it's a big deal. Before we go any further, let's hear from our brand partners. Great girlfriends, I've got something good for you. All right, imagine adding something new to your daily routine that helps to eliminate stress, keeps you calm, and is flavorless. I'm introducing to you Caliper CBD, my new daily buddy that I've been adding to my coffee, and it's been making me feel really great inside, eliminating pain and soreness in my body, and helping me to sleep easier. Why not take some of the stress out of your daily routine and add a little more calm? Here are some of the benefits. There's no high. Caliper CBD is always THC free because you want to feel better without any trippy side effects. There's no guesswork. Precisely 20 milligrams in each packet, clinically proven to deliver 30 times more CBD in the first 30 minutes than CBD oil. It mixes easily into any food or drink, like my favorite, which is coffee. No worries, developed by food scientists, rigorously tested for purity and quality, all natural, vegan, non-GMO, free of fillers, added chemicals, and artificial flavors. And if you're going on a date, there's a caliper for that too. Caliper Swift Sticks have all the benefits of CBD, but come in all natural, make-out friendly flavors like cool mint and lemon lime. So here's your chance to get flavorless with Caliper CBD. Get 20% off your first order with promo code GreatGirlfriends at trycaliper.com/GreatGirlfriends. Try it risk-free for 30 days. If you don't love it, they'll give you a full refund. That's trycaliper.com/GreatGirlfriends. Don't forget promo code GreatGirlfriends for 20% off your first order. So, how do you ask for help? Start by acknowledging that you're not feeling empowered. You actually feel burdened. Then take a second and write down the things that are actually burdening you. Get specific about these things, great girlfriends, and detailed, like really detailed, so that you can brain dump all of that heaviness onto paper or notes on your phone, whatever your choice. But the point is that you're getting it out of your mind and you're getting it onto paper. Then, after you do that, I want you to write a list of your top 20 supporters near and far, right? Your top 20. And it might seem hard at first, but just write them down. Once you start flowing, then you realize it's more than 20. And if you have more than 20, keep going. Keep going. Write the names of the people that believe in you. Write the names of the people that have shown belief in you, in people like you. Write the people that have supported you, past, present, and keep eyes on you and want to support you in the future. When you do this, you'll realize that you have more people standing in your corner than you've empowered to activate on your behalf. So you got a whole bunch of people waiting to support you, but they don't know how, and they need your help. And now, great girlfriends, it's time to ask for help. And this is the fun part. This is like the most important part. Before we jump into our solutions on asking for help, let's hear a word from our brand partners. Running the Great Girlfriends, loving on Kwaku Salmon Dilly, and loving on myself and my community keeps me very busy. At the end of what can feel like an endless workday, the last thing I want to do is cook dinner. But when the fridge is empty, that urge to order in and skip the cooking happens all too often. Thanks to Daily Harvest, I don't have that takeout temptation anymore. Daily Harvest helps me keep my freezer fully stocked with options that are delivered right to my door and are delicious, nourishing, and ready in minutes. Daily Harvest delivers delicious harvest bowls, soups, flatbreads, snacks, smoothies, lattes, and more built on organic fruits and vegetables, which I totally love. With Daily Harvest, I never have to question if the food I'm eating is good for me. They create food that's both good for my health and the health of the planet. By supporting farmers who invest in practices that increase biodiversity and improve the health of our soil and delivering food in recyclable and composting packaging, Daily Harvest does the work, so all you and I have to do is eat. New on the scene is their delicious harvest bakes for those moments when you're looking for homemade feels without any of the work. They're ready to bake, veggie packed dishes sizzling with gourmet level flavors that are big enough to share. You just won't want to. So here's what you do. Avoid the takeout temptation and get Daily Harvest. Go to dailyharvest.com/greatgirlfriends to get up to $40 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/greatgirlfriends for up to $40 off your first box. dailyharvest.com/greatgirlfriends. Here are 3 starter statements. So I even got the statements for you, great girlfriends. I'm never going to tell you to ask for help and then be like, girl, you got to figure that out on your own. I don't know how you're going to ask. I don't know who you're going to ask. I'm walking you through step by step. Here's how you start to lay out the people that you want to talk to. Here's how you got to get all that stuff out of your brain and transfer it onto paper. Now, here's how you activate the people that have been empowered to support you. So here are the 3 starter statements. Here's statement, and I hope you have pen and paper, great girlfriends. I hope you're writing this down. If not, replay it over and over and over again, right? Keep replaying it because you're going to need this as reference material when you go out and when you start to feel discouraged. I want to remind you that not only have I used these starter statements and I continue and I use them over and over again, but so many women I know have sent me messages using statements and questions such as these. And some of my mentors have also used these statements when they go to their mentors. So at every level of leadership, of every level of life, at every level of humanity, you're going to find yourself asking for help. And it's okay. It's actually essential for us to live in this human ecosystem. Now, these little prompter statements are going to help you, put it out there in case you're wondering, like, how do I put it out there and make it natural? Here's one. Number 1. And when I say X, Y, and Z, assume that to be the name of the person that you are asking help from, okay? So, hey, X, Y, and Z, that's the person. I'm going through a rough patch in the area of ... That's where you fill in that area that you brain dumped. Do you have any resources that can support me while I work through this? Thank you for any assistance that you can offer. Boom. That's number 1. That statement right there, that not only will open the door to conversation, it gets you the resources and it shows gratitude for the support. All right. I like that one. All right, here's number two. You ready for number two? And again, replay this so you can get these statements down. And then once you get them down, change them up as you need to, but and practice using them with the people on the list that we just prepared prior to this, right? All right, here's statement number two. Hey, X, Y, and Z, I need help. I've been stuck on ... for far too long and I feel overwhelmed. I struggled typing this because I don't really know how to ask for help and how to get through this next phase. Are you available to brainstorm with me this week? Okay, look at that one. That one opens up vulnerability. That one says, I'm trusting you. I'm like really, really trusting you by laying this out to you because I struggled typing this. So I really, really wanted you to be a person to support me. That one is honest about being stuck because the truth of the matter is we all have understand and have been stuck before, and we all can help each other get unstuck, right? This one puts some time and attention to the matter. Are you available to brainstorm with me this week? This one says, hey, I'm trying to get on that calendar as soon as possible. Boom. All right. So here's number three. Y'all ready for number three? Hey, X, Y, and Z, I noticed you're a rock star at ... Well, I'm not, and I could really use your help here. Can we talk further? All right, you see how I opened that one up with a compliment? Acknowledging that, hey, I've been watching you and I see that you are really, really masterful at whatever you're masterful at, right? And then it's opening the door and saying, I'm not. I'm more of an amateur there. I'm a student there. And I could really use your rock star help. Can we talk further? Would you be willing to help model me into a rock star like you? Right? That's what that says. And so I'm giving you the background on what each one of these messages communicates. So you get to choose which one of these you want to communicate when you're emailing. Each one is not appropriate for every person. You've got to know who your audience is, and you've got to be sensitive to say, hey, all right, this person won't do well with this kind of message. So I'm not going to, reach out to her with this one. I'm going to do number one on this one, and I'm going to do, number three on this one, right? But the point is to have these statements and use them as reference material, all right? And if you get no's, or maybe people are busy and don't have the time, here's some questions you can ask them. Right? Because maybe they come back to you and they're like, you know what? I'm overwhelmed myself. All right, I get that. We're all going through seasons, right? But that doesn't mean that the door is completely closed. You're able to go back to them, and here are the statements that you're going to use. Here are the questions, rather. First one. Okay, thank you for responding. Who would you recommend as a solution for this problem that I'm facing? Who would you recommend? If not you, then who, right? That's basically what you're saying. You're still giving them the power to empower you. You're still giving them the power to opt in and engage with you and to advocate for you. And you're still getting resources from them. And that opens the door for them to kind of think on your behalf and make recommendations. They may not have it in their mind immediately. Maybe they'll be in the grocery store like you were one day and they'll say, oh, you know what? I just realized Sybil would make a great resource for that person. Let me connect those two. The point is, never close the door. Assume that the door could possibly be open for assistance, if not today, in the future, because you never know when you're going to get stuck again, and you'll never know how far these people can advocate for you if you don't give them the tool to do so, which is your vulnerability. All right. The next question, very simple one. What is your top resource for ... I literally was texting with a friend of mine who is masterful at focus. And though I don't have adult ADD, I literally have been tested for it. I don't have it. I do have the closest thing to adult ADD, which would be not adult ADD, but lack of focus. I have that. So I can get distracted, great girlfriends. I mean, I can look around the room and just find things that just throw me off task. Consequently, I am probably predator or super predator number one when it comes to stopping on things, because I find myself getting pulled away or easily roped in to other things. So I have to set real extreme boundaries to ensure that I can keep myself focused. Well, this friend that I was texting with is a master at focus. I mean, he just gets it done. He is just super, super masterful at closing off the outside world or closing off distractions so that he can center in and meet his deadlines. So I texted him one day when I was like in the thick of the struggle, like trying to watch a show, trying to do a pitch deck, responding to emails, cooking in the crock pot, taking the dog outside. I was doing 10 things at once, and 10 things at once equals nothing done. So I texted him and I said, what is your top resource for focus? Right? I have tools, but I want to know his top resource. And I don't want to take away from his time. And I understand how busy people are. And I understand that he was focusing because I know he's focused. So I wanted to not, distract him, but just drop me the top resource, your top resource for focus. And he literally, in one text, sent me an app that I've been using almost every day when I need to set aside time and devote my time and attend to things differently. He sent me his top resource. So it's okay to ask people, what's your top resource for this? New moms often, call me or used to call me because my kids are 13 and 10 now, but back in the day, they would call me when they were younger. How did you make it through breastfeeding? They would hit me up like, what's a solution? And I drop a solution, or what did you do for this? Or when you started your business, who was your lawyer? Who was your top resource for this? What can you recommend for this? And these are constantly messages I'm sending out to friends and family, right? And mentors and allies, anyone who's a supporter in my life. Please believe you probably got a text about, what is this? What's the top resource? What do you use when you're feeling this way? How do you manage to master, juggling a new schedule while also doing this? Or for my friends who've moved to new cities, because as you know, great girlfriends, I've moved to LA 9 months ago. I ask them all the time, for those who've moved with families, how did you create new circles? How did you build a new village? What was your top resource? And resources come my way, right? And so, watch the solutions come to you. Watch the people who believe in you, support you to the other side of whatever that pressure is. I promise you, there is no perfect way to move a mountain or release pressure. But trust me when I tell you that being vulnerable is like the gateway. It's the start place. And if you keep asking those questions that I've offered you earlier in the episode, when you feel stumped, I guarantee you will feel supported and empowered like never before. All right, that's it for this week, great girlfriends. I cannot wait to hear from you. Please don't forget to leave an iTunes review and shoot me an email at welcome@thegreatgirlfriends.com if you just want to drop me a note and let me know how things are working out for you as you practice some of this. But remember, pressure is an indicator, not a disqualifier. I repeat, pressure is an indicator, not a disqualifier. All right, love you, great girlfriends. Peace.
All right, great girlfriends, did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast and the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group at The Great Girlfriends, follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends, and on Twitter at @the_greatGFS. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out. Peace.